Welcome to the bold analysis. One of the highly guarded secret is the main reason why fuel is being hiked in this country and state officers are increasingly finding it difficult to explain. Babu Owino roasted the EPRA boss in the House chambers today.
The Director General, I don't know what you're doing in this meeting. This government promised us the bottom-up economic model, where they said a mama mboga will rise from the bottom and go up. A mama mboga would graduate from selling mboga in a kiosk to opening a supermarket. A boda boda rider would graduate from riding a boda boda to buying a matatu. But what are we seeing instead? Indeed, it is bottom-up economic model, where the price of fuel is moving from bottom, going up. The price of petrol, diesel, and even paraffin is moving from the bottom and going up. Kenyans are really suffering. Today you are seated here. There is no solution you are offering, and yet you know very well that these Kenyans can't manage with the current crisis. You being a participant in increment of the fuel prices, do you think you are being reasonable as a Director General? Why are you killing Kenyans? Why are you exporting Kenyans to heaven? The way your boss said that mambo ni matatu. Mbona mmechagua ya mwisho ya kupeleka Kenyans to heaven? We will not allow you as members of parliament to continue frustrating Kenyans. It will not be done under our watch. And in this committee, we will ensure that we deal with you circumponiously.
And you know, he decided to use that opportunity to tell off the EPRA boss about that hike. When Moses Kuria said that the price of fuel, the cost of fuel is going to increase until February next year, we felt like we were being talked to arrogantly. And of course, quarters had to push for the rogue waziri to be moved to another ministry. But it seems what Moses Kuria was saying was not actually just hearsay, because as things go, the trend is every month it has to increase. This is despite a pledge that Petroleum Development Levy, the PDL, was going to be used to subsidize. But even despite of the subsidy, things are still tough. And yesterday I did a video about propaganda and how Ndindi Nyoro was doing propaganda in Embu. Now, the issue about fuel, there is only few leaders that have been talking, commenting about it, and also only when they speak in the media panel interviews and also when they are talking to their constituents. Do you know that I want you to find for me one video clip of any other leader from any other part of the country apart from Rift Valley who is defending the fuel hike? In the Luo, there is a proverb that says otamdhogerie kwacho, to say that imeshinda yule ambaye anajifanya kuna mdomo kuongea. Yani he cannot comment about it. You know, like someone who believes, someone who knows is something that even know-it-all cannot comment. And on this one, you will realize the only group that are commenting and defending government on the fuel levy are just politicians from Rift Valley. I want you to get me another soundbite from Mount Kenya. Get in my WhatsApp if you have my number and prove me wrong. This one has been very difficult, and I'm going to explain that here. Gladys Boss-Sholei, taking time while speaking somewhere in the Rift region and asking the residents that don't worry about it, you need to harass President Ruto because of this.
Na pia ningependa kuwaomba Najua pia mnadanganywa kule kwamba that bei ya mafuta imepanda juu. Na wanasema as if ni Kenya peke yake. Wacha niwaeleze hivi. Kenya tunauza petroli na 211.6. Katika Uganda wanalipa 216. Ya Kenya iko juu ama ya Uganda iko juu? Na umeona watu wa Uganda wakienda street? Kwa sababu tunajua hivi, sisi wenyewe hapa katika nchi kama yetu ya Afrika, hapa especially East Africa, sisi wenyewe hatuna mafuta yetu. Mafuta tunanunua kutoka ng'ambo. Kuna nchi zinaitwa OPEC, Oil Producing and Exporting Countries. Hawa wenyewe wanakutana na kusema bei ya mafuta ni shilingi ngapi. Patia president wetu mpendwa nafasi aweze kutimiza hiyo kazi. Kuna watu wengine wanaanza kusema tunafanyia max baada ya mwaka moja. Mimi nataka kuuliza, kuna mtu atanunua ng'ombe leo izae kesho na akamue maziwa kesho kutwa? Kuna mtu anafanya hivyo? Si lazima ungoje hizo miezi zote na ungoje ndama ifike na ungoje ndio uanze kukamua maziwa, ndio uanze kuuza, ndio maisha ya familia yako ibadilika.
And I'm saying, how long will you survive on propaganda? The truth of the matter here is that we are not here. Kenya Kwanza is not the only government that is here. 3 years ago, or rather 2 years ago, we were in this space. And Uhuru Kenyatta did something to make sure that we are a bit cushioned. But, you know, we tried. Immediately when Ruto came in, on this matter, if there is normally a global problem, then the leadership has just failed to get an intervention. It is on the matter of fuel that you will hear many stories. The same Gladys Sholay was actually telling Kenyans at some point, I think it was in a TV interview, that on the fuel we are at God's mercies because we don't have our fuel. There was war in Russia, Ukraine, and then there is now going on Palestine, Israel, and what's going on there. I don't even know why Kenya was supporting Israel, because now just realizing that they've also struck a hospital where people are supposed to be, is a space where people are supposed just to get refuge. I'm telling you, it's so bad. So I don't know for how long we will continue changing goalposts. And you realize that when Babu was talking, I've watched the whole session. Immediately Babu finished, there was no single member of parliament from UDA who was member of that committee that defended or rather had a rebuttal that stopped talking to the director that way. No one. People were just looking at him. Kenyans have been asking Raila to speak about it. I don't know why.
Raila utuongelee maneno. Wacha kunyamaza. Raila hata umenyamaza sana. Ongea. Sasa bei ya mafuta imekuja juu. Sasa watatoa pesa wapi? Gachagua, William Ruto rais wetu, angalia hii maneno. Sasa mnatuvinya zaidi. Hatuko tunajua mtatupeleka paka hapo.
No. So I think Kenyans must learn how to speak for themselves. And you realize that it is the matter of fuel. I think the issue of unga is not in the street. The topic of fuel is in the street. It's in the street. But then even if you just make random, like just ask Vox Pop, you, about Kenya Kwanza or what's happening now, ni gani unadhani, ni kitu gani unadhani inakuudhi? There are all those many things, but the first thing that someone will tell you is about fuel. State officials are going through nightmare to defend fuel hike, to defend government on the fuel hike. And it is because of these 3 reasons. And they're even trying to avoid it, to dodge it, because the fuel mess goes beyond political patronage. Do you realize that Kalenjins are speaking about fuel in TikTok? Yes. If you check most TikTok, those who are complaining about fuel, they are complaining in TikTok. I think the time they were all of us speaking Facebook and in these social media, the social media platforms, maybe there was a crackdown. And they're the ones that are shouting about fuel hike in social media. Even now, I was going through this gentleman, Tim Kipchumba, who vied for a Senate seat in Elgeyo Marakwet, was also complaining about it. And there are those who you'll try, they want to defend, but it's a problem because, be it border, fuel, be it transport ya gari, fuel, it cuts across everywhere. And every a single day, if you have to move from one place to the other, you consume energy, you consume fuel. So it goes beyond political patronage. And politicians have also realized that if you get yourself in the trap of supporting inflation before your constituents, then you create an image that you don't have empathy. Like, there is no way you can go to your constituents and start telling them that, guys, like the way Rigathi was saying in Mount Kenya, that do not protest against your own government. You cannot just do that. It's very difficult to defend fuel. Even Rigathi Gachagua has been so silent about it. The second reason is William Ruto's deafening silence about fuel hike. Let me tell you, there are leaders, even government operatives. Let me just use a very good example like Oscar Sudi. Oscar Sudi cannot come up with a concept and say, I want to defend government, or even a position. Kenya Kwanza must have a position on this is what we want to tell Kenyans. Like last hike, they wake up and say it. They just wake up and say, you know what? Even in UK, the fuel is high. In US, the fuel is high. We were told about the global, and they wake up and everyone else was saying that. Now, that point of global fuel hike, it did not sell. It did not get traction. And immediately Ruto came back from, I think that was from the New York. People are waiting for him to respond, but there was no response. What we only saw was a cabinet reshuffle 2 weeks later. And those who had spoken to us badly about the fuel hike were actually moved. And we were made to think that probably now someone is caring about us. And I kept on insisting that it's not about being talked to. It's about the price of fuel. The cost of fuel is up. So with that Ruto's silence, some people don't know what to say. Yes. Some people don't. If the president is shy commenting about it, because he knows that he's going to get a backlash, and again, he also doesn't want the issue of the fuel to be magnified, because what the president says about it will be in the headlines of the newspapers. And so he's avoiding it. So that is why you realize that it's very difficult. Even state officials are finding it very difficult to explain about it. Number three is, in the oil sector, I want to believe there is a high-profile secret. And that secret is about the deal-making around Dubai. There are those, if you have a privilege of talking to those who are in government, you'll understand that there is one permanent factor called secrecy. And some of these things happening are deals that we did, but if we do not tell MP what exactly was in the details of that Dubai deal, would you think they will be at liberty to defend? No. So there is a lot of vested interests, and because of these vested interests, people that feel they are out of the table, they are away from the table, do not find any reason to defend it. And that is why I can tell you that the more it grows, Kenyans will get a breaking point, and the state officials will start being vilified. Leave alone parliament. Babu Owino is in parliament, and of course that's easy, there's nothing. But you will be going for events in the villages, in the rural counties, in the counties that they will be telling you about fuel. So, I don't know. Let's wait if Ruto will look at some few months to election and introduce a subsidy, or he will still continue managing communication, messaging in public about this issue of fuel, but without offering a solution. What do you think? We need many Babu Owinos to make noise for you so that government can hear. Asante.